everybody, welcome back. I'm Joe White from Get Life Coaching, and welcome to another edition of Live Free. It feels good to be back here. And have you ever been in a situation where you didn't know what you were going to do, or you've been indecisive, or you really feel stuck? Well, what do you say to yourself? What question do you ask yourself when you're in that kind of state or that kind of situation? And let me explain why I'm asking. As you probably know by now, 18 years ago, I'm addicted to cocaine. I'm an alcoholic. Up at 1 o'clock in the morning, flipping through the channels, I see this infomercial for these tapes that said they could change your life. And I remember watching it, and I watched it actually for, like I said, for 3 consecutive nights, 1 o'clock in the morning. And after the third night, after the third time I watched it, it was over, I remember turning off the TV, taking a long walk from the living room to the kitchen, 4 steps. It was a small apartment. And I remember asking myself a question that I never really asked myself before. And the question was, what if it worked? What if? See, up to that point, I always said things like, it won't work. It would never work. I've tried everything where we make up that excuse, right? Or, I can't do it. Or, my phone's ringing, but I'm going to keep going. Or, I'm not good enough. Or, no matter what I'll do, I'm going to end up where I'm at. See, that's the type of things we say when we get stuck. Not the most empowering type of questions or statement or even area of focus. So I ended up asking myself that question, what if it worked? And at first, my answer wasn't too brilliant. My answer was, but it won't. Because you tried it before. But for some reason, that day, I didn't stop. I didn't stop with that answer. And I asked the same question again. See, sometimes in life, we have the right question. We just got to ask it again. And then I said, what if it worked? And my brain said, you would get off cocaine. See, it wasn't about the alcohol or the other drugs or even how I felt. Not at that point. For me, it was all about getting off of cocaine. My life changed because I asked myself the right question. That led me to buying those tapes that night. Which led me to listening to those tapes and take action. Which led me to get clean. And led me here. See, very often now, for 13 years, I've been working with thousands of people. And what keeps people from changing? Sometimes they have the desire, they have the motivation, have the need or necessity. Sometimes what keeps them, they just don't believe change is possible. So maybe you should start replacing whatever you've been saying. Maybe it's with a question that gets you pointed in the right direction. Asking what if doesn't change everything, but it begins a cause set in motion of the right direction that you need to travel in. In other words, it opens the door that you need to walk through to begin that process of change. Too often we spend our lives telling ourselves why it won't work. I hear it with business owners. I hear it with couples. I hear it with people who sit down in my chairs. It's constant. People would tell me all the reasons why it won't work. But in order for change to occur, you gotta believe, at least in the frame of possibility. You gotta believe it's possible. And the question, what if, brings you to that point. What if it worked? And sometimes don't trust your first response. You might be like me. You might give a first response that you've always given, but it won't. Or you create the lie, I've tried everything, when you haven't. So if you do that, then ask this question over again. But what if it worked? Or perhaps you should keep asking that question until you get an answer that serves you. So till next time, live free. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.